So that first day after my awakening, basically this is part two. Basically I just tried to just gather myself and told myself, okay, you good, Clearly it wasn't, from my perspective at least, it was just it was hard to grasp at first, but then the time came where I just needed to just rest and get ready for the next day. That's where things started to really get interesting, because I lay down and all of a sudden sleep became different, because sleep, of course, requires one to close their eyes. But the environment was different when I closed my eyes now. Before, there was just darkness. There was nothing going on. I was just in darkness. But now that this awakening had occurred, when I closed my eyes, it wasn't darkness anymore. It was fireworks. Literally, it was fireworks. Every time I closed my eyes, fireworks would go off. It would just be colors everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. What is this? What is this? So, needless to say, when you go from a condition of just complete darkness to just a fireworks show going on, and you're trying to sleep, sleep doesn't happen anymore. So that's the difficult part for me, that when I opened my third eye, I couldn't sleep anymore, because it was just shocking. Like, how can you sleep? Because it's a show going on now, and it's just like, what in the world? Needless to say, I just did not get any more sleep. And the only time that I got sleep was if my body was just exhausted, so I would just pass out. So the thinking or the reaction to having my eyes closed just ceased to exist, because I would just pass out because I hadn't slept for 4 days. That's very difficult. And it can beat you. It can beat you. It can beat you. And you become, of course, you're not getting any sleep, so you become physically drained, emotionally drained, mentally drained. But that's just that part of it. And I don't know if I specified on my first video, but it was, I literally had a Kundalini Awakening. So it was other stuff going on as far as the body vibrating and just feeling intense energy that I didn't even know existed. So that's another aspect of it. Just opening yourself up to a whole new reality and things that you didn't know existed is just another mental aspect of it too. But specifically to detail more on your third eye, the next phase is when from there things started to, they went from being like super clear and colorful, and so vivid, to all of a sudden things started to look as though it was like a video or some sort. But what I did not realize at the time is that I had started to see my own energy. I had started to see my magnetic field, because what the energy does is it comes up and then it just starts to just work its way around you. But the first sight of it was actually very interesting because it was because, you know, the energy was up, but the energy is getting through you initially through a very, you know, small space that it has to work up eventually to get there. But as it starts to rise and gets more powerful, it'll go through what I call like little hairline cracks, because literally we are blocked and clogged in our astral body. That's what has dulled our life force energy. All the junk that we have within our astral bodies, the energy has to work through that stuff. So I started to feel a lot of, because the energy starts down, what they say, in your root chakra, your lower extremities. That energy dwells there, and its goal is just to rise up and be all its glory. But it was, like I said, it just had a little space to work through, and it just started going through hairline cracks. And I remember one day I was couldn't sleep, and I was just up. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch TV, do something, you know. And I remember I had, my comforter was black. Everything was just black that I was laying on, first of all. So I turned around to just kind of, because I just felt a lot of energy going on behind me. And I looked back, and oh my gosh, I had the biggest shock of my, it was petrifying. It scared me. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, oh my God, oh my, this is not real. This is not real. But I could see the energy, because before it's penetrating up here, so you really don't, you can't see. You can't like put your eyes up here and be like, hey, I see you, light force. But I looked behind, and I could see a stream of what looked like, at the time, like against with the back, the black kind of being the background. I saw what looked like just watery, like just floating behind me. Yeah, I was able to perceive my energy, and it scared me, because first of all, I talk about it now as perceiving my energy, but at the time I did not know what it was. So I literally, it felt like I was like being possessed, or something was behind me or on me. I was scared. What was that watery, like blobby, floaty energy that's coming out of my back? It scared me to no end. I was afraid to even look at it again, actually. And then from there, the energy just kept going through these little hairline cracks. So I started to see like little spirals of little energy, you know, just started to just be around. And it was just piercing out of me, because its full potential couldn't just go up, right? So it was just like, I could just see little sparks of energy, and then how it moved in constant motion. I could see these little spirals, and it was just me. It's me. It's my energy. I didn't know, though. I saw it, and I was just like, what is going on? And of course, as I progressed and I continued to, because it's going to work its way up. It's going to work its way up, and it's going to get to where it wants to be eventually. But as it started to clear that space and create that pathway, then I started to be just encompassed in just like a cloud of energy. And then pretty much I can just perceive that now. I can perceive my own energy on a constant basis. And it's a conscious energy. It is energy that takes forms, and but that's all a whole nother series of videos if you follow me. There are those who have interesting experience. I think everyone's experience is different. just the visual, my mind's eye, and just my eyes. I was able to just see things, spiritual things that I did not see prior. As far as having, like, you know, vivid dreams and insight, increased insight, maybe, I don't know. I feel I've always been, like, fairly intuitive anyway. But I think, you know, we are gifts with different aspect of it. You know, some people have the ability to perceive the future and read a person and know what they're about, and you know, when they develop their third eye. I don't have that. I can see. I can just see spirit, basically. I can see my spiritual, the ones that just surround me. I don't, like, look off in a distance and see other people's spiritual energies or anything like that. I just see my own. My experience has just been very personal. It's been like a self-evolving type of awakening for me, and that's exactly what I needed, because I really did not know myself. I didn't really love myself. And now it's put me in a different place. It's put my heart in a different place. I've always been just a loving person, but I was never really self-loving, you know? And I have a lot more of that now. Like, a lot. So, I think that, you know, everything happens for a reason, and what I've been trying to do since I've been, I would say, gifted, you know, if one would look at it like that, it is, you know, I'm trying to just share my experience, because everyone's experience is different, you know. Mainly sharing the physical aspects of it, like what you go through, and me knowing, like, so closely, and just feeling what's going on with me, and seeing what's going on with me. I'm able to, like, convey why you may be feeling that way, the reason why you're feeling that vibration, or you're feeling like those sharp pains in different areas. Is because literally your spiritual family, or the light workers that are trying to awaken you and clear you of all the junk that you have, are literally stabbing your look at my other videos where I talk about Egyptian art, and the reason why we see all these weird what they call gods. That's not what Egyptian call them, but they're just, that's your spiritual family, and they're literally are using those tools to be like boop boop and breaking stuff up. The reason why you sitting in your bed and you just feel your body vibrating, that's spirit trying to just get you healed, because we are filled with so much junk that it baffles me. It baffles me. I know I'm not the only one that's filled like this. You know, I think that this is over time, you know, you have just been by everything. You're literally, your emotions have blocked you in so many ways. And then there's you know, it's duality in the universe, you know, and too much of something is I don't know, I'm just blabbering now, but that's my experience with my third eye. it was afraid. It was very scary at first to just be able to perceive those type of things. But I just looked at it in like like look at the facts. Let's, you know, it's good to be, you know, being spiritual is like, okay, it opens you to a whole nother world, but you still need your what you experience as a physical being. It can kind of put you in perspective on a lot of things, because you don't really understand this world. You don't really, it's not something that you've been taught. You've been conditioned by society, and since you've been little to believe a certain type of way, and you know, you have to come back to that same type of common sense type thing to like kind of ground you sometimes. Because I was just like, okay, well, I'm still here. Nothing has happened to me. You know, I'm just, you know, you know, because if you let fear like take over your mind and you just run with it, you can, a lot of people have had a spiritual awakening are in the crazy house, because yeah, a lot of people that have had that are, you know, and the doctors don't know what's going on with them, and they're not crazy, they just don't they understand, and yeah, sometimes it's just like that. But you know, I don't know, I'm blabbering. Thank you. Peace and love.